Quit acting.
Chiquito pero picoso con Falupe. ¡Suéltala, viejo!
Chiquito pero picoso. With
Rudy.
Chiquito pero picoso, así me dicen por vanidoso. Y es que chiquito, soy peligroso.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 3 of Chiquito pero Picoso. And I'm noticing right now that it says episode 59 at the bottom. So pay no attention to that. I should have checked that out. And honestly, I wasn't ready, man. I'm doing all this stuff. That's all stuff from the podcast that I do with my brother. So I should have checked that out beforehand. But anyways, we'll fix all that later. We'll fix that in post, as they say. I just want to give a shout out. So today we have I have a guest that I met, quite a few years ago, actually. At this point, we worked together out in Weston, Missouri, at the Holladay Distillery, and my boy is carving out quite. He's beginning his rap career, man, and he dropped an album last month that I want to promote. He's got some new music coming out, and I'm excited. I love the stuff. I play it in my car and I listen to it while I'm at work. So I wanted to bring him on here and catch up, man. We haven't talked in quite some time. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Christian Eliah. Christian.
What's up, Rudy? How are you doing, man?
Good, man. Welcome,
Thank
buddy.
you.
I'm sitting here and I hit play and I hit record and all this stuff. And I'm looking and I just noticed it says episode 59 at the bottom.
It's all good. It's all good.
I
Episode 3, as you said. We'll ignore the bottom.
Yeah, ignore the bottom. Ignore the bottom. It's episode 3. And yeah, man, how have you been, man? How long has it been? Gosh, it's been 10. Has it been 10 years?
Close to that. It's been probably near that, but yeah, it's been a little while. Life's good though, man. I can't complain. Still up there at Weston, holding it down. So yeah, life's good.
Man, Weston was a trip, man. I gotta say. So I met you again. I don't remember what year it was, but I worked up there. My buddy Patrick Fee got me on there. Yeah,
shout out to the boss.
Shout out to boss, man, who I've been telling, hey, come on this podcast.
Gotta get him on.
He says that'll be a fun time because that man kind of hired me and fired me. So I think there's a good story there, man.
For sure. I'll let y'all get into that. But yes, sir, he's the man for sure.
It really is. Yeah, he's a great guy. But yeah, so I was up in Weston and it was about the time of my divorce because I remember the first time I met you, they sent me down to where you're at. I don't know what they call that building.
POS, iWarehouse.
Because I needed boxes because I was about to move. I just had a divorce, had to box up all my stuff and move. So they said, head down there and get some boxes. And that's when I first met you, man. And from that moment, dude, I could tell there's something special there, man. Like your style, which we'll get into. Yeah. Just there was something different about you. You were unlike anybody else that worked there. Like there was something about you, man.
Appreciate you saying that. Yeah, thank you.
Maybe it was that smile, bro. Like it just lit up. Like they say it lights up a room. I'm like, this guy's got something. Very cool, from down to earth from the minute I met you. So
I appreciate that. Likewise, man. It was always a joy to kick it, be around you. Yeah, great times up there.
How long have you been there? How long have you been in Weston?
I've been there since like the summer of 2016. It's the second job I've ever had in my life.
Okay.
So yeah, they treat me well. I love it there. I love the people. I love the work that I do. It's cool.
Good stuff. What do you do up there?
So I started out in the warehouse. I was like a point of sale clerk, doing like shipping and receiving for the marketing department. And then a little over a year ago, I got promoted to a point of sale supervisor. So now I am in charge of managing vendor relationships and purchasing the stuff that the clerks ship and receive.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to say, man, when I went out there, I got hired on in the sales department and it was one of those fake it till you make it things, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I started talking about pivot tables and I saw their eyes light up and I'm like, ooh, I think I got it. And I'm sure Patrick had some strings that he pulled, but I got in there in the sales department and I lasted there for, a little while. And things got moved around and they sent me down to I don't remember what what's the house down at the bottom of the hill. It's just a business office, I think, maybe, or
Oh yeah, like the main office.
yeah, like the main office.
Mhm.
They moved me down there and I had I had the smallest office in the whole place. Like it was like as soon as you walk in the door, I was right there. This tiny office, like I could
Yeah.
touch. And but honestly, at that point, they were just trying to find something for me because Patrick's a good friend. He was trying to, and so I was answering basically I was answering emails, answering mail, like people asking about this and that, and a lot of people just wanting free stuff. Hey, can I get some swag, that kind of stuff? And
Yeah.
so I'd have to send stuff out or whatever. But I would have to research. I'd have to what's the Kyle, Master
Mhm.
Distiller. There are a lot
Yes,
of
sir.
questions. I was emailing a lot with him. We were becoming close because I'm like, hey, this person wants to know if there's any this inside of that. And he's like, yeah, we've got, so I'd have to conversate a lot with him and respond to these customers and stuff. So
Another
and
good
then
dude up there,
yeah,
another good guy. Shout out to Kyle.
nothing but good guys out there. Kyle was a good
Yeah.
guy. And then finally, so that didn't work out. And again, we're trying to find places. And finally, my boy Patrick comes down. He's like, hey, I got an opening with me. Why don't you come up the hill and work with me in marketing and social media? And so I'll be honest, when I hit that, I had a blast, man. That was such a good time with
Mhm.
the brands and but it was my first I don't know how to say it. I had been in like a cubicle for 20 years prior to coming out to Holiday. And so
Yeah.
but it was the first time where I was like kind of on my own, like, here, take these lights and like you plan your day. We need this and this for social media. Just go get it done this week. And so we'd
Mhm.
go out to what is it, West Bend Park, or what's that park up there?
Yeah,
Is it
Weston
West Bend?
Bend State Park or
Yeah.
something maybe. Yeah.
So we'd go up there with some lights and some bottles and have some photo shoots. It was a good time, man. It really was.
Yeah.
Um, then they hired Brandon. Shout out to Brandon, young kid out of college,
Oh,
and
Brendan, yeah.
Brendan, and
Yeah, yeah.
he started doing some wild stuff with some crazy. I mean, I'm like, what are you doing down here? And he's doing like slow motion videos and stuff. And so
He's a wizard with it.
he is, man. He blew my mind a lot. So he's doing some good stuff. But
Yeah,
one thing I will say about Weston, man, that drive out there is beautiful.
right.
And like I said, I was going through my divorce, so there were a lot of. I mean, that's from anywhere in Kansas City. That's like I was in the River Market at the time, and that's a good 30-minute drive, and it's just beautiful scenery once you get out there, and so
Yeah.
it was good. Where are you come? Where do you call home currently?
So I actually just moved to North Kansas City. I'm like right off Armour Road. So right
Okay,
across the river from River Market, just right on the other side.
are you
Uh
near the Iron District?
Kinda. I mean, I'm like I can see the hospital from like outside my
Okay.
front door. So
Okay.
it's a nice quiet little strip
Do you
off
got
of
a
here. Go ahead,
house
sorry.
there?
Yeah, so I'm renting a house from a family friend. I got a roommate who I went to high school with. His name's Brandon. He's a good dude. We've known each other forever. So
Awesome.
just kind of got our own little frat house here.
Oh man, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
both
I'm
single
not
dudes too, so it's like it makes sense for right now.
okay. Yeah.
So yeah,
So you're born and raised Kansas City, Missouri, correct?
yes, sir. I've been a Northlander my whole life.
Oh, always Northland. Always
Yeah.
Northland.
So,
Okay.
I was born in North Kansas City Hospital, and then I wanna say, like, kindergarten, we moved to Berry Road. We lived in, like, the apartments right across the street from Hy-Vee, me, my older brother, my parents, and then my parents bought a house on Berry Road, um, but yeah, I've been a Berry Road kid proudly since, like,
Okay.
kindergarten, 1st grade, So
proudly so. I would say so. We got, and we'll play it here in a second, but I'm sorry. So we'll start getting into your rap career, but man, that Barry Road song, I'm sorry. I love that thing.
I appreciate it.
That's a bop, as the kids say. Just showing my age, but okay. So you were born and raised in Kansas City, Northlander. Where'd you go to high school? Are you a Park Hill kid?
No, I went to Platte County. So my elementary school was like mad close to the crib, but for high school we were like right on the district line. So they shipped us up to Platte City for high school.
So that was probably tough because did many of your elementary friends go that way, or?
Yeah, so we're what's called like the Berry kids. So once you get to Platte County High School, you have Platte City Middle School and then Berry Middle School. We combine up in Platte City. We kind of join them up there on their turf, and we're like more city kids, not city, but like I always say like I can see the skyline from my childhood home. So like I kind of embraced being able to like reach out and touch the city in 10 minutes if I wanted to, but also like the countryside of Platte City, or like now working at Weston, like that balance of, like I said on one of my songs, I'm between the fairgrounds and the concrete jungle. Like I know both quite well. So
that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So your mom and dad, are they still around? Are they still in the Northland?
Yeah. Still, they're still repping Berry Road themselves. Yeah. Mom and pops are still there.
Sound like you're a family guy. You're a family guy. You're real close with them.
I am. Yeah, I was just over there yesterday. I love kicking it with my parents. I have an older brother, and then I have 2 younger siblings who are still at home. So yeah, big family guy. Enjoy all the time I get with them.
That's good, man. That's awesome, dude. So
where are you at now?
So I am basically Berry Road in North Oak.
Okay.
I bought a house up here December of 23. Since the divorce, I moved down to the River Market for about a year. Then I came back up to Liberty because my kids were still in Liberty schools. Then they packed up and moved with their mom down out to Blue Valley, like 151st, like they're out there south. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to stay up here in Liberty if there's nothing up here. So then I got a place on the plaza for 2 years. Loved the plaza living. Loved the River Market. But then it got to a point they had just put that Chiefs Fit on the plaza, and that was right next to my apartment building. So I was between the Chiefs Fit and that Prime Social or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm that building right there, and rent kept creeping up every year. And honestly, it wasn't that big of a deal. It's just like, you're not fixing anything. Like, this building's old, but just because the other buildings are coming up around it, like, why is the elevator always broken? Why is there water pouring from my ceiling? Like, if I'm going to pay this extra, like, you guys got to do some upgrades, you know what I'm saying? So I finally kind of had it at that point. There was one summer where I just didn't have air condition. We'll get to it. We're getting to it. And so I'm like, man, no, not for the prices you're asking. So
it sounds like downtown living stories from what I've heard sometimes.
But old buildings. It's fun, man. Like I said, when I lived in the River Market, I mean, it was nothing like coming home from Weston, coming home from work, and you can hear a live band playing across the street. And it's like, I don't have to sit here. Like, and it's kind of, you got to fill your time. Like, after I got divorced, the kids are now with me 50% of the time at the time. And it's like, so there's days when I'm just sitting there, I got to fill my time. So, I come home and I hear some acoustic guitar playing outside the window, and I'm like, let's go find out. Luckily, my cousin has a restaurant across the street from where I was living, the Farmhouse on 3rd and Delaware.
Nice.
And so
That's
I was just actually down there today. My son's working there now. Shout out to Manny. But I'd go down to the Farmhouse, get some drinks. There was live music down the street. I mean, you get on the streetcar, see what's happening down there. So it was a good time. But again, even the building in the River Market, I mean, the elevator's always broken. I mean, it's give and take, man.
I hear you.
Because the brand new stuff they build down there is, I mean, I can't swing that. So
astronomical. Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know how we have this many people in this city that can afford that stuff. I mean, because they're going up everywhere. We're talking about North Kansas City. I was looking into that. Is it the Oxbow, that new one they built on? That's insane. The pricing on that thing.
It is insane. It's wild,
crazy.
man. People are making money out here, I guess. I don't know.
They are. It ain't me, but somebody is. So. But yeah, so I'm up here up north, been here for a little bit, got my house up here, small house. It kind of blows my mind that, like, 7 years ago, I was in Liberty in a 5-bedroom, two-car garage. I could see from my kitchen table, I could see downtown Kansas City. Like, it was a gorgeous view. I'm paying more now for this 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1-car garage. I'm paying more monthly for this than I was in Liberty, man. It kills me.
Just sounds like it's the signs of the times, huh?
Yeah.
Everything's going crazy.
Yeah, you can't think about it too hard. It's funny, when I bought this house, my Liberty house was back on the market. And it was on the market for more than twice what we sold it for.
Sheesh.
And I'm just like, that's insane, man.
Yeah.
If I could have only held on to that for a little bit longer, man.
It's tough. You're where you're supposed to be. At least that's what I believe. So
there you go. So let's get into it, man. When did this love for music? When did you notice it?
I was actually thinking about that today, in preparation for this. So in the 4th grade, again, Barry Elementary School, I did a talent show. And the reason I signed up for it was because my dad used to tell me about him doing his like 4th or 5th grade talent show. He did a rap song, and so I kind of wanted to do the same thing. I performed Eazy-E's Easier Said Than Done. And obviously, like, minus the cuss words and stuff, kind of made it elementary friendly. And I remember very specifically, this is a time when like home phones were a common thing. I remember like after the performance, getting through that, and then like talking to this girl that I liked in 4th grade, and her being like, will you like do the rap for me on the home phone? Like, will you rap it for me? And I remember that feeling, kind of like, damn, this is cool. Like, I always say this, not in like a self-deprecating way, but like I'm not traditionally handsome, but I feel like rap and like my personality and some like charisma has helped me build like this confidence, like I am traditionally handsome, Right. And that was the very first glimpse of it, was 4th grade, doing that talent show and just kind of feeling that response, as a young, impressionable mind. I was like, damn, this is dope. And so from there, I want to say it kind of like faded a little bit until like middle school. And then my older cousin, Jeremy, he was like 2 or 3 years older than me. This was when like Rock Band was popular, the video game.
Okay. Yep.
So, it came with like a microphone, like the USB mic. And we plugged it into like the desktop computer, and we just like, we're like, let's rap, like let's make rap songs. And so that's when I started like creating, was like middle school. And they were terrible then, obviously.
Do you have any of those like saved that you can go back and listen to?
Yeah, I have like 3 or 4 of them. I tried not to think of them too much, but it is cool to like see where I started, for sure.
Right. Absolutely.
But yeah, again, being a kid like that, I don't know what I should have expected, but it was funny because we didn't even, we had like limited access to like what we knew. Like, it wasn't as easy as YouTubing something back then and being like, this is how you do it properly. Like, we literally plugged in the microphone, played a beat on speakers, and like the microphone was picking up our words and the beat at the same time. Yeah, so it was like caveman technology to us.
Hey, but you got it done, man. I tell myself there's got to come a time, and I think I got this. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I watch a lot of movies, listen to a lot of music. But I think it was Kevin Smith, the director director of Clerks, Mallrats, that kind of thing. He has a podcast, and he says, and he said it multiple times, but it's like at some point you decide to stop being entertained and do the entertaining. Like I'm tired of just sitting back and watching, having other people entertain me. It's time for me to get out there and start producing, producing content and stuff like that. So,
Right. Yeah.
And everybody's first song is terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
what you were talking about, I went back, this was probably last year, and I went back and started watching some of my podcasts with my brothers, like from episode 1, just to see from that first episode, because your first episode is going to be your worst. And just to see, and I watched, then I went to episode 2, episode 3, and just to see the progression and see how you get better, man. It's kind of impressive,
Right. Yeah. I remember too, like I'll stumble upon some of my like early songs from high school.
Right.
And it's cool now to look back on, because I do see like glimpses of my current self back then. Like, damn, you were like tapping into it here. Like you were almost there. Like you're on the brink of something here. And then it can be like pretty cool to like look at your own evolution, I guess, like just
Sure.
that comes with, putting time and effort and investing time and effort into your craft. And then like, I'm obviously not at the point. I'm 28. I don't want to like look back and be like, that's it. But like, it's cool to be like, I came this far and I'm continuing. So like, let's see what happens.
Right. No, I'm impressed, man. So I think you started dropping music that I noticed. I don't know if Barry Road was the first song that I noticed. But because I remember you talking about, I don't know who told me up in Weston that you were a rapper. I don't know if it was Rachel or if it was Elizabeth.
Yeah.
But somebody's like, did you know he raps? And it wasn't far-fetched when they told me. I'm like, yeah, I could see his style. Like, he's got the crispy Jordans on. He's got, always looking nice. Bro's working in a warehouse and he's got his, he's looking clean,
Yeah.
And so I'm like, that doesn't surprise me that he's got a rap, he's trying to get a rap career going.
Yeah.
But
I'm proud of being like labeled that up there. I think it's cool. It's like, it makes it a bit of a unique experience up there for sure. But yeah, that's funny.
Yes, it's crazy. So I was doing some digging on you and I found some stuff on YouTube. And I'm going to play it here. Let me go ahead and play it real quick.
For sure.
I want to wake up in the city that never sleeps, living in the real world, but I forever dream. Yo, Yankees, it's very amazing how my life is. Out in Times Square where we don't care what the time is. Wanna be the center of attention in Central Park. Hop the subway, you can take it right to my heart. Where life's greatest skyscrapers, fancy women in their makeup. Damn, I wanna be where dreams are made of.
So
crazy.
Yeah. So for anyone listening on Spotify, I know that audio is a little hard to hear, but that was, man, you look like you were 12, bro. How old were you? Then?
I was a junior in high school. That had to be like summer of 2012 or 2013, maybe.
Okay.
One of them.
So I played that clip because my question that I wanted to ask, you talked about doing your talent show in 4th grade. When did you start getting on stage to perform? Like, was that an original song? Like, did you write that?
Yeah. Stuff? Original song. So to answer the first part of your question, that was like my first paycheck ever from music, was right there in that video. It was like a booking agency reached out and they were like, hey, we do showcases throughout the city or like local area, nationwide. But it was actually at the Granada in Lawrence. And so like, they book you. It's basically like a talent show, but for a bunch of like randoms, I guess, in the area.
So I got to say, for a talent show, throw on that KU jersey if you're in Lawrence to get some extra, added support there. Okay.
Yeah, I just did the rapper thing, throw on a jersey. I'm in the town, got a rap. But yeah, so like you were responsible for selling your own tickets. So it was basically like family and friends in there. I was 16, 17 at the Granada. I remember it being like $245, but yeah, that was the first time I ever got paid for music. And I did perform quite a bit at like, shout out to student council, man, in high school. They were hooking me up with like we had one rapper come perform at like our prom or our homecoming in my freshman year. And after I seen that, I was like, "Oh, we're performing at dances now." So like sophomore to senior year, I was the one performing at the dances.
They had to book you first.
Yeah, I was like,
You were the
"Nah,
headliner.
yeah, I'm
You
in the
can't have somebody
building."
else. Yeah, you can't have somebody else come into your school.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
apart from like high school and then that Granada experience, I really didn't perform that much. But then to get back to the other part of the question, I did write all that. I was working with the producer. His name was Red Chief. We connected online, but he was out in like New York, and he would just
Okay.
send me an abundance of beats, and I would kind of go crazy every now and then on
That's
them. And
awesome.
yeah, so
That's awesome.
yeah.
So let me go back to the Granada real quick, just because the one time I went to the Granada, I've been to the Granada once, and I saw it was a concert. It was so the Beatnuts were performing, right?
Mhm.
And opening for them was Eminem. I believe, unless it was reversed and the Beatnuts were open for. I feel like it was a Beatnuts concert where Eminem was opening. His album hadn't even come out yet, his
Crazy.
first album, and so we went out there and the Beatnuts didn't show up. So
Oh, snap.
so Eminem did like, I want to say he was out there for like 2.5 hours just going,
That
and
makes
it
it
was
that much more epic.
incredible. It was
Yeah.
incredible. It's the only time I've been out to the Granada. That's the one show I've seen. So out there. So yeah, you
I
shared a
love the
stage.
Granada. In high school, that was like one of the premier spots. Like, I don't know if you know Logic, saw him
Yeah.
there a couple of times, YG. It was
Okay.
like those mid-tier acts who like
Right.
it was clutch. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Great times out there.
Yeah. Eminem was brand new on the scene. And yeah, it was pretty memorable, man. It was a
That's
memorable night.
wild.
So the Granada was kind of cool when I saw that you were there. But as for writing, so what are you constantly writing? Like what steps do you take to how do you start writing a song? Like do you have a book of lyrics and then you match them up with some beats that you get, or how does that work?
A lot of my screen time is in like the notes app on the iPhone. So I keep my thumbs working in there. That's where I write all my music. Usually it starts with an idea and then I find a beat. But
Okay.
sometimes a beat will come across an email or sometimes I shop online for beats and kind of draw inspiration from there. But a lot of times like I know what I want to say, I know what I want to get out. I know the first couple bars to like lay the foundation, and then it's just expanding from there and like making it make sense.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
but I feel like I am kind of constantly writing, like not
Oh,
trying to sound like the guy who's like never not working, but like I'm always in my notes app.
right.
Um,
Right.
it's kind of hard to like turn off something like that and be like, stop trying to be creative or.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, definitely. I'll sit there and I've written stuff before and I'm thinking like, man, but anytime I write something, I'll let it sit there in my notes app for a little bit, and then I'm like, that don't work, and I'll just erase it or whatever. But
yeah.
it's weird because it's the hard part. I think is just putting yourself out there, man. It's like you're out on a ledge, and you got to put it out there. And coming from a family like people that have watched my podcast with my brothers, man. Coming from a Mexican family, man, all they do is make fun of you. You can't do this. You can't do that. You look stupid. You look dumb. So it's like
It builds
I got
character.
I got to know right off the bat, anything I say, they're going to call me stupid or say, you can't do it. That's dumb. So I
Yeah,
got to cancel them out right away. There's no support there,
yeah.
which my mom will hate if she even watches this. She'll hate. She's like, oh, that's not true. That's not true. But
I mean, I have some family like that, or mostly friends, I'd say. But
right,
like I said, I think it builds character. It helps
right.
prepare you for like what God willing is like eventually to come. If I do get my way and I become famous from making music, then I'm sure I'll get a lot more than I get from an uncle or cousin or whatever.
Right, right.
But yeah,
Let me,
it's funny.
I'm going to play this next clip, this song. Man, it hooked me. I think this is the first song I heard from you. I think this is the first song I heard from you. I don't know. Let me play it for the people. So here we go.
And I'm the outsider. The berry bonds a berry road. A berry stand is how I get around. There he goes. Happy that you're here, but I have some Hollyberry hopes. I'm barely known, yet I feel just like I'm Barry O. Prepared and chose, so I'm able to be me. At either Minsky's Pizza, excellence in each piece. Playing Uno with company, courtesy of E.T. But better believe I'd enjoy Casey Akili. Return of the Mac, a pirate while at PC. My ship sails well. I doubt you'll see me sink a all-around talent. I could have been on E-Chiefs, O-line, switch sides, D-line, repeat. Performed at my prime, express myself freely. I'll make it in America like Hova and Yeezy. Make all my dreams be reality. Please, Jesus, local gigs to arenas, the potential of a genius. All of my homies don't panic. I'm wonderful with words. Skip and Shannon, inspired by the boys. Just a grown man, it never cheated to work, and that's word to Landry Shaman. From Weatherby Lake to North Oak Traffic Way, I'm still here between them both as the balance, babe. Sunday through Saturday, this away.
So a couple things here. So first of all, it's hard to clip up music because you're writing lyrics and it's like, I don't want to cut that line off and I don't want to cut that. So then the clip, that's why we got a minute-long clip here that I'm like, I don't know where to cut it, man. This is all fire to me.
All good. I like that
So
problem. It's cool.
But let me ask you, so one thing right away that I dig, like when I hear lyrics in there that I know what you're talking about, you're shouting out Minsky's Pizza, you're shouting out places on Berry Road that I know. I'm like, it connects to me immediately because I'm here local. But like, let me ask you, Landry Shaman, were you friends with him growing up? Is that somebody you knew?
I was not friends with him, but I do remember this. So like, I think he was a grade younger than me. I know he was a grade younger than me. And I remember after I graduated, me and my best friend Reed, we went to specifically Oak Park. I was playing against Park Hill his senior season. And I was like, dude, this dude is the truth. Like he's a hooper. And my homie at the time, like he's not a big basketball dude. So he was like, I'll go with you, but like cool.
Yeah.
And so like it was just dope to see him ball out and know like this dude's from Barry. Like this dude's playing 5 minutes away from me. He's bound to be something special. And like sure enough, he had a crazy run at Wichita State, like then went to the league and is doing his thing still. So like I don't think I've ever met him personally.
Sure.
When Barry Road dropped, though, I did DM him. I was like, "Yo, I got this song. I mentioned you." Like,
so did you get a response?
I did. He was just like, show support. Was like, keep doing your thing. Like, was like appreciative for the shout out. But I noticed, obviously following him, like he captioned a lot of like his training pictures or just like hooping pictures, like never cheated the process, never cheated the work. And that just kind of, I don't know, it struck a chord with me. I was like, that's hard. I'm gonna rap that and shout him out.
That's
and it
awesome.
Makes sense. Park Hill kid, Barry kid, like it was dope.
Oh, it fits. Yeah, I knew he was a Park Hill kid, and I think he's with the Knicks now.
Yes, sir.
But I just had to ask him, like, I wonder if you knew him, like if you ran with them, if that was your, because I figured y'all was about the same age.
Yeah,
so,
I got some really cool friends. None of them are in the NBA right now, but I got some really dope friends. Landry, unfortunately, isn't a close friend, but I would like to get on and make that connection like more established. That would be dope.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean that song hooked me. Like I said, I mean, I told you earlier, I live right off of Berry Road, and that song just, I love it, man.
Yeah, I think I kind of pride myself on like storytelling or like painting the picture for folks. I guess it's kind of the rapper thing, like the typical rapper thing to like rep your street. And I know my street or road isn't like necessarily the stereotypical rap street that one would represent, but like it's home to me. It's all I've ever really known. So
right.
I don't know. It just seemed fitting.
Listening to your music, man, it's all really personal. Like you can just tell, like it's all very personal to you and it means something to you. And I think there's just something there. Like it's not, you're not rapping about, having money and cars and whatever. It's personal. Like you growing up and you could just tell. You could tell it comes out in the music. It really does.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that. I take it as a high compliment. That's what I try to create with that in mind, like share your
Right.
story, every part of it. And that's a major part of it. I embrace where I come from. I'm proud of it. And like, I feel like part of being a creative, like I feel things pretty like intensely. So like I enjoy Berry Road like so much. Like I
Right.
love that place. Whenever I was mixing the album, like I mix and master my own music. So like I
Okay.
record it, I add effects, I make sure the levels are right. And a lot of engineers do what's called like a car test. So it's like you take what you've been working on in the studio, you hop out in the whip, go for a drive, and see how it sounds in the whip, because that's where like a lot of people
Okay.
listen to music. So
Absolutely.
I would do car tests on Berry Road when I was like living at my parents' house, just to jet out, and I'd be like, man,
Yep.
this is like slapping, or like I need to fix this here, or like turn up the volume here. So like I'm just, it's like it's in my blood at this point. It's in my DNA. Berry Road. It's
That's
crazy.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, one of the songs, I mean, like I said, your music is really personal, but
Yeah.
this one just strikes me, and we'll play it here in a second, but let me show a couple pictures. So and it's kind of a story here to tell, but you found yourself down in New Orleans this year
I
for the Super
did.
Bowl.
Yes,
For the Super
sir.
Bowl. Wasn't the happiest of endings, I don't think, for me or
Tough
you, I'm
game.
sure.
Yeah,
It
tough game.
was it was tough. Like they didn't even show up, man. It was tough.
Yeah.
And to the Eagles, no less. Like had they lost to the Rams or to the, I'd have been all right. But the Eagles, man,
Yeah.
something
Those
about
Philly
Philly,
fans are relentless. It's just that East
terrible,
Coast fan base mentality.
terrible. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good picture of you here in front of the Superdome. My
Hey,
daughter was actually down in New Orleans. They had just her and her boyfriend had just gotten off of a cruise that, and so they were kind of stomping around New Orleans that during the Super Bowl and stuff. So
oh
they had a
yeah.
good time. I've never
Yeah.
been still. I hear it's a great place to go. Do you go down there a lot?
That was my first time. We actually
Was it?
stayed in Baton Rouge too, just because hotels were crazy in New Orleans. So I didn't get
Yeah.
like the full New Orleans experience, I'd say, but it was a great trip, man. It was a fun time, apart
Everybody
from the
talks about
results of the game.
right. Skip that part. But
Yeah.
everybody talks about the food down there, man. Were you a fan of the food?
So I went with my grandma, and uh I mean she's not like real big into like spices or like seasoning or onion, garlic powder stuff. So we kind of
Right.
stuck to what we know. Like our best
Sure.
meal was at Chili's. Like if
Chili's.
it was familiar, we were rocking with it. But
You went to New Orleans and ate at Chili's.
I
My guy.
know it's all good. I'm
Now,
a creature of habit too, low key. So I was like, I'd rather like pay for what I know I'm gonna like than like
right.
try something else and be like disappointed.
Well, that's my thing. I mean, I'm not a shrimp guy. I don't like seafood.
Mhm.
I don't know if I'd be hitting all those po' boys and stuff. I don't know if it's for me. They say it's the greatest food in the world, but I also heard there's like a White Castle down there. So
Right.
that's probably
Yeah.
where I'd be. But
Word.
coming off that game, so I saw you on social media. So you were down there for a couple days, I guess. And
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna switch the picture up here. You ran into
Hey.
one Michael Strahan.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a great picture of you two.
Thank you.
I'm sure there's a barrier in between you, so you weirdo fans don't
Yeah.
don't really bother him. But yeah,
Yeah.
so,
This was wild, man. This was really wild. So like we
so
drove down there on a Friday.
okay,
Um, and we, like I said, we stayed in Baton Rouge. So we got in Baton Rouge like late Friday. But then
uh-huh.
we were like, we need to go see New Orleans before the Super Bowl. So we went to New Orleans Saturday early, like around lunchtime, and obviously walked Bourbon Street. It was maybe like two, just middle of the day, strolling on Bourbon Street. And
Right.
like I said, me and my grandma, we were walking. We were like approaching the end of Bourbon Street. Go ahead.
First
Sorry.
of all, the fact that you went with your grandma is insane. I
Yeah.
love that idea. Was it your grandma's idea, or was it you saying, "Hey, grandma, let's go. We're going down to the Super Bowl"?
It was her idea, but
Her idea.
yeah, she's a big Chiefs fan. Her and my grandpa have had like season tickets probably since
Oh,
before I've like been around.
okay.
So yeah, they're
That's
big
awesome.
fans. Yeah, it was
That's
a
awesome.
great experience. I enjoyed that time with her. It was a great trip. So
That's
yeah,
unbelievable.
we were strolling Bourbon Street and I seen like the Fox set, like I think they were doing rehearsals or something, and it was obviously like in the middle of Bourbon Street, and then they had it barriered off so you could like walk the sidewalks, but there was security like on each sidewalk, and I peeked up and I seen Strahan, and I usually don't like fan out over
Right.
celebrities. Like I'd keep it cool, but it was Michael Strahan, and I was like, I just did this song where I reference
So
him.
not only do you reference him, the
Yeah.
name of the song is Strahan.
Yeah, literally, like, inspired by like, I had a gap tooth as a kid. My parents got me braces, so, like, it's closed up now, but I always, like, mess with them even before I ran into Strahan. I was like, "I wish y'all never got me braces," because, like, that was,
Right?
like, another thing to me. Um,
Yeah.
but anyway, so, like, I pulled up. I was kinda chilling at, like, that barrier, and I had the song pulled up on my phone, Strahan, the song that I released last year,
Had
and
to.
I was like,
Hold on,
"Yo,"
hold on,
like
hold on, hold on, hold on. Let's pause
yeah,
right here. Let me play a little bit of the song.
right.
Get it, so make plans. Fat dudes cause mayhem. Gap tooth like Strahan. I'm applying pressure like Mike. Check, make plans. Fat dudes cause mayhem. Gap tooth like Strahan. I'm applying pressure like Mike. Hey, fix that shit. Orthodontist and dentist trips. Sorta cocky, I've been legit. Y'all steady black and I switch and blitz. The outsider seems innocent, but I'm chasing bitches like Emmitt Smith. Feeling outstanding, sitting indecisive. My skinny piece seems thick again, and it's outrageous. You insecure. Critique is advertised humorous. It seems Rattle Sims finna force fumbles. I strategize, so I'm scooping them. I satisfy.
So when I saw that picture of you and Strahan on your social media, I immediately messaged you like, you playing the song? Like you
Yeah,
had to play him the song, right? So go ahead.
right.
You had it on your phone?
So yeah, so I just had like literally that picture you just showed was showing like with on Apple Music. I had it pulled up. I was like shouting. I was like, Mike, like yo, I just did a song about you, like saying some groupie shit. But
Yeah.
just trying to get his attention, and then like security was bugging a little bit. They're like, "Yo, keep it moving, keep it moving." So I like slid down the barrier, and I tried it one
Oh,
more time. I was like, "Mike, I just did a song about you," and he like walked over to me, and he was like, What were you saying, young man?" And I was like, "I just released this song. It's called Strahan. Like I had a gap tooth when I was a kid too, so I felt like I needed to share this with you." And he's like, "Well, where do I find it?" And before when the album dropped, I made like these little square business cards. So it's got like the album cover on the front, then you flip it over, it's got 3 QR codes. One that goes to my Apple Music profile, one that goes to Spotify, then one to my Instagram. And I literally pulled one of those out. I was like, just follow the QR codes, like it's called Strahan, like you'll find it on there. And he
that's
was like,
awesome.
"Bet, I'll check it out." And he was like, "Let's get a selfie." And he like looked around and he was like, "Just one though, like just this one."
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
we flicked up and dapped up, and it was like, bro, I was on a high, man. I was like, this is
That's wild.
crazy. So that experience alone was like I said, I was on a high. Like I
That's
didn't
worth it,
expect
man.
nothing. Yeah, like I didn't expect anything from it. It was just like a cool experience. Like this is where music took me, and I got to share this song with Michael Strahan. So,
Wild. Wow.
and then
Now, did I see it right? Did he repost it? Like he posted
yes,
your
yes.
song.
So yeah, next morning we wake up going down to get breakfast at the hotel, and like in the elevator, I seen he posted it on his story. Like I
Crazy.
woke up, went to Instagram, checked his story, and it was right there. He reposted like the post I had about meeting him, and he was like had this on repeat. And
That was awesome. That's what I
bro,
saw.
bro, that gave me goosebumps, man. That was crazy. It just felt like I don't know. Like I said, I don't like geek out on celebrities, but that felt like so personal that I was like, this is like
Right.
it's in perfect alignment. All I had to do was like yell for him. Like
Right. Right.
it was weird, man. It was dope.
And that's kind of what I mean by like your music being personal. Even like the cover of that song, like I mean, that's you as a kid with your gap teeth. Like you're like,
Yeah.
here I am, like, because I'm sure kids are jerks. I mean, I'm sure when you were a kid, a lot of kids clowning and stuff. So
I remember being in the library at Berry Elementary School, and Michael Strahan was on like the cover of Sports Illustrated or like ESPN magazine, and they had those in the library. And one of the kids I was at school with would like held it up and like looked at it and pointed at me, was like, "This you type deal." So I mean, it's all fun, you know. Like it is what it is. I wasn't like tripping about it, but like, yeah, that was a moment.
I think it helps too that you're a bigger dude. Like I'm even talking height wise, right? I mean, because me, I've always been short my whole life. I mean, I guess in grade school I was about the normal height, and it was in high school when everybody took off. But like, you know, people clown on me. What am I going to do? I just got to be the funny guy to make them laugh, to not, you know, that was my defense mechanism. Just be funny, always be talking, make sure everybody's your friend. And then nobody can make fun of you. But you know, I've always been short. So
I'm definitely built like a lineman. I was an offensive and defensive lineman in high school. I'm a big teddy bear though. My grandma always says that. Like I smile a lot. You know, I don't want to say I'm soft, but like I'm big teddy bear for sure.
soft. Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. So you played football for Platte City?
Yes, sir. Football, a little bit of basketball too. Basketball was like my first love, probably. I was a big Kobe guy growing up. Rest in peace. That was like my idol athletically. I played basketball from like third grade to sophomore year, and then football every year in high school except one. So
yeah. See, I think I played football my freshman year just because everybody does. And you know, you get hit by one of the big guys in practice once, and I don't quit anything. So I stuck out the whole year, but I do remember like coaches looking for me on the sideline, trying to send me in with the play, and I'm hiding. I don't want to go in because I'll forget the play. One time the coaches sent me in with the play. I was a receiver, and they sent me in with the play, and I get out to the huddle, and the quarterback's looking at me like, okay, you know what? And so I just made something up.
That's funny. That's funny you say that. So senior year,
coming back to the sideline, they're like, what the I'm like, I just did. Yeah.
That's funny. Senior year. So junior year, I was like strictly defensive line. Senior year, they moved me to offensive line like the first week of the season. So I didn't know any of the play calls. And one of my best friends now, his name's Colin. He was the center. And I would look at him like probably every damn play and be like, yo, who do I block? Like, what do I do? And he would get heated, man. And my other best friend played left tackle. So like it's a brotherhood, man. If football is nothing else but that, like it's worth playing. It's worth getting involved in that just for that. Like those guys are still my best friends to this day. So it was an experience though.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I played 1 year of football, and then after I played, I think 2 years of basketball, 2 years of baseball, but I never really, you know, I was too small for basketball, so I kind of rode the bench. Baseball, I mean, when you're playing with Frank White's son and John Wathan's son and Al Saunders' son, and like, there's not a lot of room for you to fit into that lineup either. So
tough to shine for sure.
Yeah. Shout out to Rockhurst High School. I went out there. A lot of famous parents out there. And so
I'm sure.
So it was a little hard to get into that lineup to break into the lineup, but high school.
Good times.
Crazy. So let's see. Where do I want to go now? I'm going to play one more clip of this song because I got another song, and then so your album that you released, here's the album cover. I brought you flowers.
Yes,
the
sir.
Album cover.
Yeah.
That came out. When did you release that? You released that in February, right?
So I released it November 15th this past year. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I released like Berry Road and Strahan like late summer to kind of like get some buzz going. Like, yeah, I'm stepping back out. I'm rapping. I'm here to be consistent. And that all kind of led up to this album in November.
Okay. I have a 27-year-old daughter, and I believe her birthday party was held right at this establishment. Is that River Roll Skate Center?
It is. It is.
Yeah,
yes,
Miranda. Miranda, your birthday party was there.
Yeah, I feel like that was another big part of my childhood. Like, So obviously we go there to skate, but when we were in high school, they used to have what they call DPs, dance parties,
Okay.
at the skating rink. So like Saturday nights would get a little crazy in there. But yeah, that I don't know, it just felt fitting. Like a lot of the crushes or like love
Oh,
interests
sure.
I had were like, um, yeah, were like developed there, I'd say.
All right. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
you. I understand that. I know what a roller skate. Now, I don't roller skate. Like I don't like it's weird. If I'm not good at it right off the start, I quit. Like I don't want to do it. You know, like
Word.
if there's a skill, yeah, I don't want to look stupid out there, so I'm not
Yeah.
going to do it.
That's the
My
fun
girlfriend,
part though.
I don't falling on my ass. That I don't know. Everybody laughing at me again. I'm short. Whatever. Like
Yeah.
my girlfriend now talks about, hey, we should go roller skate. I'm like, I'm a grown ass man. I ain't going roller skating. But
You might have to step back out. My siblings made me go. Not made me. They asked me to go with them. Maybe like a month ago, and it was a fun
really,
time, man. Like you said, I'm a bigger dude, so I fell once and I felt it. But like it's if you laugh along with everyone else, I don't. It's a good time,
see, I get up. I want to throw hands
man. With yourself, just be.
immediately.
I'm mad at myself.
Who looking? Who laughing? You know, that kind of thing.
I hear you. I hear you.
Did you go to River Roll? Is that where you went?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Always. Always.
See,
The loyalty is there.
when I was a kid, I think we used to hit up Wynwood.
Yeah.
Wynwood was the spot.
I have a bad experience from there. So
Oh,
like
really?
uh, kind of what you're talking about, like when I went to Wynwood when we were in high school, it was like jam packed on the floor and you had to be like professional skater to like survive out there. Otherwise you were getting stiff armed in the back and the front, like it was
Not cool.
crazy. Yeah,
Not
not
cool.
a comfortable experience. Where
That was
Riverroll,
the
you're kind of
spot.
more free flowing.
Yeah. That was the spot when I was a kid and my friends would go roller skating. But yeah, like my daughter, like I said, she's now 27, which is probably closer to your age. How old are
Yeah,
you?
28.
28. Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
So yeah, that's where she was at. That's where she was
Yeah,
at, River Roll. So
yeah.
my favorite is the referee that skates backwards and thinks
Yeah,
thinks he's the coolest guy on the planet and just
yeah.
skating back, usually in some rollerblades or something.
Right. It's a good job for a high school kid, make some
And
money, just skate out there, monitor the
yeah,
situations. It's cool, man. It's a dope place.
I immediately recognized that when I saw that album cover. So,
Yeah.
how do you decide what goes on the album? Because I know you. So, like I said, I had heard that Barry Rhodes song. I had heard the Strahan song, and I know you released a couple like small projects. I think was one called Casey, and then there was one called
Yeah.
Annie. I'm
Yeah.
assuming those are real live females
Yeah.
that appeared in your childhood or adolescence.
Yeah. Childhood, adulthood, most of them, honestly.
Okay,
But yeah, like you said, my music's mad personal. So it was
right,
definitely based on like true events, true experiences. Um, so I did like I was signed. Little detour here. I was signed to a record label, and all this music was really like made underneath them. And
okay,
I was signed to a development deal. So like it wasn't like I was like this hot commodity. It was like, yo, we believe in you. We're gonna put some money behind you. We're gonna help you get beats and like whatnot.
right.
Flash Fast forward to now, that situation is like no longer. It's all love. It just wasn't, uh it wasn't what it probably was supposed to be from both of our perspectives.
Okay.
But I was working on this music. I was working on I Brought You Flowers. I didn't know it would be called that, but my mentor, the guy who signed me, his name's Chauncey Jackson. His idea was to kind of like break up the releases into like episodes, if you will, or like three parts to kind of like
Right.
spoon feed the audience. Because as you probably know, like short content is in. People aren't really sitting down to listen to an album like 1 through 14. Like I'm locked in. I want to hear every second of this. So
Bro, yes.
yeah,
Like somebody dropped an album. It's like, okay, I know I got to listen to this album, but I'm listening to it and I'm just like, man, I'm ready to listen to something else, man. This is taking
right.
too long. Like,
See, and
no, I got
yeah, and
you.
as an artist, like that sucks to us. But again, you kind of got to adapt or like get left behind. And so that was kind of the idea, is like I had 12 to 14 songs that I knew all belonged together, because it was a whole project about like romantic storytelling is how I like to
Right.
tell it. You know, just going through love interests, talking about feelings. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it was all centered around that. I landed on I Brought You Flowers probably a couple years ago, like the album title. And
Uh-huh.
then all the songs I was doing just like made sense underneath it. And I knew like leaving off Berry Road or like Strahan, like again, those just wouldn't really live on this type of project, just because they're like
Sure.
um more rapidy rap, like hip hop, not like
Right.
romantic at all.
They didn't
Um
fit in the storytelling.
yeah, not quite. But they were a good like I wanted to use them as like buzz singles. So like, yo,
Yeah.
I'm really rapping again. This is how well I can rap, and now I'm gonna get to like
Right.
this concise idea that I've been working on.
So let me ask you, do you have to clear it with these? Because these are real females. I mean, do you change their names, or we're using their real names? Do we have to clear it with them? How does
Oh
that
no,
work?
no, yeah. Luckily, thank God, I still have like decent relationships with most of the women I rapped about or was inspired by, and it's not like I'm like shitting on them too. You know,
No, not at all. Not at
most of
all.
the times I'm on the Taylor Swift shit, like I'm the problem if there is a problem.
Right.
But yeah, like they were all super sweet, understanding, and I appreciate that. That doesn't go unnoticed. Yeah, that was dope. I know
Okay.
it's a mad, like it's a unique situation for them to be in too. So I tried to
Right.
be like as gracious as possible with that, but also like tell my story.
And again, dude, your smile, you keep smiling, you're a teddy bear, all that stuff. Who's gonna say no? You know,
Yeah, yeah.
they're not gonna say no.
If it
Yeah.
turns into a bop and something they can like nod their head to or like take honor in, then like it's
Yeah.
a, you know, it's a mutual
Yeah.
beneficial thing.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me play this because I this is another one that I was just kind of. This is on the album. I Brought You Flowers. This is Rodeo.
But I never cheat. It's respect and peace, babe. You cancel competition like Amazon and eBay. Take I-29 to Weston, we eat at TK. I control the MoCan because of what I create. Chris, baby, you outstanding, I'm encouraged. My section ain't sober. Sorry if you're nervous. She's like, how you feel? I'm like, your favorite person? You wonder what it is? Well, baby, it's the bourbon. So if you wanna go and take a ride with me, baby, these side roads provide us total privacy. I ain't the passenger type, just the driver's seat. We can treat it like the rodeo at times a thing. I said if you wanna ride with me, baby, these side roads provide us total privacy. I ain't the passenger type, just the driver's seat. We can treat it like the rodeo at times a thing. Yeah, service by the barrel, not the bottle.
So right away, this one, man. The shout out to TK, bro. Tin
Yeah, yes,
Kitchen.
sir. Support
Tin
Weston
Kitchen.
business. Yes, sir.
Oh, Tin Kitchen is fire. If you're ever out in Weston, anyone, those fries, that TK burger,
Yeah.
man, I right away
Smash.
picked that up. I-29 north to TK. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what caught my ear there. But that's
Uh,
man,
That's low key been one of the best songs, like streaming wise. I feel like I know I played that early for the homies, like amongst the group. I would play that or like send it
right.
out and be like, "What's the vibe?" And that was like a fan favorite, I'd say, one of them.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I mean, you hear it on like the last section, the bridge or whatever, where I'm like, "If you want to go and take a ride with me," like it's very like Nelly-ish, and
yep,
that like kind of like what I was mentioning earlier. Like I'm between the fairgrounds and the concrete jungle. Like I feel like that's basically Nelly. Like he appeals to like the country audience, but
yeah,
Nelly like can rap his ass off like
yeah.
crazy, and that's kind of like I don't know. I don't necessarily view myself as like country at all. But again, I've been amongst those type of people, and yeah, I see it. I can like share my experience about it. You know.
Right, right. One of the songs you mentioned how you're a little bit of a Luke Combs lookalike.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out
Uh,
to Casey. Yeah, she helped me with that little skit at the beginning.
yeah,
You
yeah.
could hear her vocals like underneath whenever I'm like on the hook. I'm like, she's like, how you
Oh,
feel? Like she does
okay.
a how you feel with a little more feminine aura.
So That's actually Casey. Okay.
Yes. Shout out to her. So yeah, that's what I said. She's even featured on the album, like
That's awesome.
unlisted, but you know,
Right. Right.
got her
Right.
blessing.
Nice.
Yeah, I get the Luke Combs thing a lot. If I'm ever out at the bar, especially like Northland or like a more country bar, they're
Yeah.
like, "You look like Luke Combs." I'm like, "Ah, God,
What
it
bar are
is
you
what it
hitting
is."
up here in the Northland, man?
Fam, me and my boy Reed had a weekend residency at Thirsty Bull, um, but
Okay.
that's no longer. He got a girlfriend. His girl used to bartend there, so
At the
Once,
Thirsty
one,
Bowl?
yeah, once he got cuffed, we kind of quit going out. No, I'm a homebody for real,
Yeah, there's nothing like
but
being at home, man. When
yeah,
when I first got divorced and I was trying to, I meet up with a buddy. We'd be down at Caddy Shack, and it's 1:30 in the morning, and he's smoking a cigarette or something. And I'm like, "What am I doing, man? I
yeah,
want to be, I want to be at home on the couch. Like,
right.
what is going on? This
It
is
never
crazy."
goes how you think it should or how you
No,
want it
it's
to.
no, it's
Yeah,
not like in the movies. No,
yeah.
but
It's weird for me to say this, like given where I work, but I'm not much of a drinker either.
right,
Like I think the
okay,
last time I drank was on my birthday, and I was born in
yeah.
May, so it's like coming up on a year. Um, it's just not really my bag. So again,
The only alcohol I have in my house is from Weston, like,
there you go.
literally from when I worked there, like, and
Yeah,
that's been over 5 years ago, 6 years, so,
yeah,
yeah, all the alcohol, I don't drink that much either, man. I mean, I'll get beer for, like, my son's graduation last year in May, and I'll be finishing it in December, like, I don't wanna sit
yeah.
here by myself and drink. Now, if I'm out at a bar and my buddies are there, yeah, give me a beer, I'll have a beer or whatever,
Right. You don't want to
but,
look like a weirdo.
yeah, I mean,
I
I
hear you.
enjoy a beer, but yeah, I'm not gonna sit
Yeah,
here and drink it and watch TV by myself. Like
yeah.
that doesn't
I
sound fun.
I've never been a beer guy. Like I'm probably more social, if anything, definitely a social drinker. But again, even then,
Yeah.
I'm usually home with it. So um, it's nothing against it. I just I like kind of being in control of like I'm here. I might want to be here later, so I want the ability to drive there safely, or just
Right.
remaining level headed.
Yeah. That makes total sense, man.
So
Total sense. So when
yeah.
you're up in Weston, who's not to let's go back there real quick. Are
Uh,
any of my people still up there? I ran into Gabby the other day at a movie theater with her kids.
Yeah, I know she's
Gabby,
still up there.
Rachel.
Rachel's still there. Of
I
course,
know Josh,
Brendan.
Patrick, and Brendan. Josh exited shortly after me, I think.
I think it's been a minute since I've seen
As
him.
did Molly. So that was one thing. Like when I got the axe, I know my whole department kind of shrunk up. Molly, Josh, I think they downsized basically my whole area and took what we were doing and put it on like one person's shoulders. I don't know who that person is or what, but
Yeah, I'm honestly not too sure now, but I think that's about the same crew.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I feel like there's not a whole lot of turnaround just because people love it there.
bro, that was a good time because, like I said, right now I'm not a huge drinker, but man, when you have like uh tastings at 10:30 in the morning in the rock office and I'm shooting tequila at 10:30 in the morning and I'm putting that on my social media and everybody's like, you got the greatest job in the world, and I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's kind of nice. And then there were some times when we would spend all day in the garage upstairs and we're trying to come up with drinks recipes to put on the website, and
hmm
we're trying everything. Like we're looking at stuff on YouTube and we're trying to change things a little bit and rename them. And can we think of a name for this? And there was one time we were in the garage and we were like muddling some like Doritos and like milk. And I'm like, what are we doing? And it turns out just as nasty as you think it would be. And I'm like,
yeah,
no, that doesn't work. That doesn't go.
yeah.
But I know Rachel used to do a lot of baking with the Irish cream, and
hmm
she'd make 5 Farm cupcakes or whatever. And
Yeah.
man, that was a good job, bro. That was a
There's
fun time.
there's definitely perks like that, but even apart from that, man, it's just like it's nice going to a place every day. Like, yo, I love the people here. I
Yeah,
love the work
yeah,
environment. Like, I feel like this is an extension of home. Like, obviously, I'm paid to do a job, and I'm gonna do that. But like, I don't dread waking up and going into work, and that's such a
Right.
blessing. Like, I don't take that for granted at all. I love it there. I love the people there. Like,
It was a
they've
good
blessed me
time, man.
tremendously. So yeah.
I get on that golf cart and get some wind in my hair going up to the office or whatever, helping Mark out. Is Mark still there? Mark
Yeah.
Carter?
Yes, sir. Mark's
Um,
still rocking.
what about Joe? The hell's Joe's last name?
Joe Quinn.
Joe Quinn. Yeah, he
Yes,
was good
sir.
friends. So funny story about Joe Quinn. I got hired on, and Patrick was, telling Joe, "Hey, I hired on my friend Rudy Paredes. He's going to start working here." And Joe Quinn's like, "No way!" Like, Rudy was like my best friend growing up. Like, me and Rudy were like tight. Like, we were best friend. Like, I can't wait. And so I show up to work, and Joe Quinn comes around the corner or whatever, and he's all excited, and then he just sees me and just stops, and he's like, "What's your name?" And I'm like, Rudy Paredes. Nice to meet you. And he looked at Patrick like, "This isn't Rudy Paredes." Like, what are you? And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I went to school with Rudy Paredes. Rudy Paredes is a good friend of mine." I'm like, "Did you go to Miege? Like my cousin Rudy Paredes?" He's like, yeah." He's like good friends with my cousin Rudy Paredes, who's the same age as me.
Word.
And he was all excited that his buddy was starting, and it was just me.
Dang, automatic disappointment. That's
I
crazy.
know. I was like, "Joe, come on, man. I'm just as cool as
Yeah.
Rudy."
Joe's a
But,
great dude. I love Joe, man. He's a great guy.
Joe's awesome, man. All of them.
Yeah.
Mark Carter. Jordan was awesome while I was there.
Yeah.
I know she's still doing her thing up there. So
Yeah.
shout out to everybody there in Weston. I had a blast. I loved it. But like you said earlier, you end up where you're supposed to be. Like the things I'm doing now. I mean, I work at Ford. Most people know that. And I can't. Not only can I not complain, I'm so happy where I'm at right now. They're taking care of me, and so yeah. So things are going well for me. But that time in Weston, man, was a good time. They built that. What do they call it? What's that thing? What do they call it now? The
event center.
Yeah, the event center. I watched that build through my window. I watched them build that thing.
Right, because it used to just be like a little picnic area.
Yeah.
It was. It's crazy.
Yeah, and so it was cool, and we took bartending lessons there. Like we learned how to pour and stuff like that. So I still got all my material, that they gave us, and so it was a good time, man. I really loved it.
Yeah, just part of the story, man. Good place
Absolutely.
to have a chapter to at. So
absolutely. A couple of quick questions, real quick, before we end up. I know we're about an hour, so I don't want to take too much of your time. But growing up as a kid, like when you were a kid, who were your musical influences? Like, who were you listening to as a kid?
Nelly, like I said, was like one of the earliest ones I remember, like having a CD and like listening to a lot. Listened to a lot of Usher. Like, I know Confessions front to back. But then like as I got older and more into like specifically rap, Drake is like all-time favorite.
So I was gonna bring up Drake. You are hardcore on that Drake stuff.
Yes, sir.
So are you anti-Kendrick?
Well, see, that's the thing. I've been pro Kendrick for a majority of my life.
Until
but if you take shots at like
right
my goat, like I can't just be like, bravo. Nah.
Right.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm anti Kendrick now, but he's definitely taken a far backseat when it comes to what I like to listen to.
So you weren't impressed by that halftime show?
Oh no, I had headphones in. I had my own little halftime show.
I think I saw that. Saw that. You had Drake playing in your headphones.
Yeah, I'm not rocking with that, man. I'm cool with rap beef. Like, I think it's cool. It's entertaining, obviously. But yeah, I'm
do you think he took it too far?
Me personally, I don't think there's such thing as too far in rap beef. It is what it is. Drake was talking about some foul stuff about him as well. It's just
I guess growing up, Tupac talking about killing Biggie, and I mean, so yeah,
If
you're
it gets
right.
to the
There's no
point of like shootings and like murders, then that's too far.
right,
But as far as when it comes to
right,
rap lyrics, I mean, like say what you want to say. If it hits, it hits.
right, right.
And I mean, at the end of the day,
And
they both got to live with it. So
the fact that Kendrick, like, that's a hit, like that's on the radio, that's on everything.
yeah,
Like they're
it's
making
cool.
jokes about it at the Academy Awards. Like
Yeah,
I'm like, bro, but no, Drake. I rock with Drake. Like I like me some Drake. But
Patrick always gives me shit about it because
does he
he's,
really?
you know him, he's like a California dude. They don't like Drake as much as I do, but I'm kind of known as like the Drake guy. Like I
Sure.
literally I have the owl tatted on me, the OVO owl. Like Drake
Right.
is role model number one for me, or like
Okay.
musically for sure.
So that's your musical role model at this point.
He's up there. He's been up there for a minute. J. Cole is like a
I
very
saw you went
close.
to both of his concerts and he shouted you out.
Yeah, that was crazy too, man. I feel like me and Cole are like due for a meeting. Like that dude and I have had like
Right.
moments, bro. Like he's one of the illest in my mind ever.
Okay. Yeah.
I also like my first concert ever was the Watch the Throne tour. So Jay-Z and Kanye West. My
Yeah.
grandfather took me to that.
No way.
Yeah, I was in high school. It was crazy, man.
My brother and I, we took our sons to Kendrick when he came. I think it was the last time he was here. We went to Kendrick.
Yeah, like the
But the
Mr.
fact that
Morale and the Big Steppers.
yeah. We went to that one. We weren't anywhere near where you were sitting. How you were sitting so close that he recognized you both nights.
Yeah. That was special.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, I went mad early to the venue. Like I was waiting around outside T-Mobile Center for a little bit, buying general admission. I
Sure.
was grateful to get like damn near the same spot each night. And
Uh-huh.
so that definitely came with some perks. It was dope.
That was very cool that he shouted you out on stage.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, what am I trying? Style wise, because you get your style from somewhere. Would you
Mm.
say you get it from your mom, your dad, your brother? Is there somebody you emulate, out there
Uh,
on TV or in the movies or what?
my dad used to be into like Jordans and a little more fashion than he is now. Like as he's gotten older, I think he's chilled a little bit, but he was definitely like a big Jordan guy. He's a shopper too. My mom doesn't really shop like that. Like
Okay.
she damn near feels guilty like buying herself anything.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but my dad's definitely the shopper. I'd say I got it from him, and obviously being a part of like rap and the culture and like being influenced by that, like you got to come correct when it comes to fashion and
Right.
whatnot. So
It's
yeah.
funny because I like to, in my mind, I want to dress, hip or cool or whatever, but I feel like I'm at the age where if I try to wear what's cool, like have my son, I got an 18-year-old son, and like, hey, is this cool? Like, but I don't want to. I'm at an age where if I try to dress like the young kids, I'm going to look stupid.
Yeah,
But then if I dress the way I'm supposed to, I look like my dad. Like I could see it. Like I'll be walking and I'll see a reflection, and I'm like, "That's my dad." Like, what am I? Because I don't want to step out. I want to look good when I leave. But there's times, man, where I'll just catch a reflection in the mirror. I'm like, man, what? I got to go back
yeah.
home. What am I wearing? Like, yeah. So
I'm sure there's a nice balance, a nice little sweet spot you can find for sure.
I got to find it.
Yeah.
Man. I need the Queer Eye guys to come and hook me up because they know where it's at. Like, okay, here's my age, here's my waistline. Put me in
Word.
something. Like, yeah,
Get you a
don't make me look stupid.
stylist. Yeah, I
Yeah.
hear you.
Well, I got a little bone to pick with you real quick before we
Let's get
wrap
it.
this up, man. What up with
Yank it.
that, bro?
Yes, sir.
So everybody on Spotify, if you're listening on Spotify, I just put a picture up of my man in a Yankees jersey at the Royals playoff game, man.
Last game played at Kaufman. It's been a bit, huh?
What's happening, man?
Man, like you heard at the Granada, I was rapping about New York on there.
You were.
I was always like infatuated by New York City. Like I I don't know, growing up, like it seemed like the pinnacle of like entertainment and specifically rap and the birthplace of like hip hop.
Right.
Um,
100%.
so I think there's a little bit of like that, but also like the big money franchise that the Yankees are. Like I grew up seeing A-Rod, Jeter, like all that. It's big time, and that just
Um,
stuck with me. I've been a fan since I like can remember.
so have you been to New York?
I have a couple times. Yeah,
You've been there a couple times.
yeah.
So, you know, you're not a Giants fan. You're not a Jets
Nah,
fan.
nah,
So,
nah.
so what's up, man?
Yeah, yeah. I don't that. So I'm a
Now,
late.
I get you. Are you about to say you're a Lakers fan,
I
aren't
am.
you?
I'm the
Oh
stereotypical
Lord.
fan where it's like, oh, the Yankees lost. I know a Lakers fan is mad disappointed right now. I'm that guy. Like
I'm surprised you're not a Cowboys fan, man.
low key, I have been for most of my
Oh
life, but yeah,
God, they've been terrible most of your life. Like when
with
I was a
football.
kid, I saw Aikman and Emmett Smith and Michael Irvin at least, but
Yeah,
they've been
I guess
trash since you've been
probably
born.
not most of my life, but like in football, I'm very much a like a players guy. Like when Cam
Yeah,
was in the league in Carolina, I had every colorway of Cam's jersey, and I was like,
right,
"Go Panthers!" Like
right.
when Dak and Zeke got to the Cowboys and were balling out, I was like, "Those are my guys." So
So being a Lakers fan, man, I got an issue with LeBron, man. He's nowhere near Jordan, first of all. Nowhere near Jordan. The man's just played a long time. Yeah, he's got all the records because he's played a long time.
we need to get everyone in your kind of like age bracket. We need to get all of y'all in like a room and like sort through these emotions that y'all have towards the game of basketball because of what Jordan did.
The flopping. I can't stand it, bro. It's turning into soccer.
But see,
Into soccer.
that's like uh, a nag on the game, the current state of the game. You know, LeBron is definitely probably the ringleader of it, but I, I don't know. I feel like
So
y'all.
I will say, so flopping. Let's get back on the same page. Mahomes. I think it was in the playoffs this past year. I don't remember who they were playing, but he was running towards the sideline, and dude, he slowed up to allow the defender to get to him, to put hands on him, and then he flopped out of bounds. He didn't get a call because I think everybody saw that. To me, that was smart play because he didn't pop up and whine about it like, where's the flag? Where's the flag? No. He popped up and was like, okay, I didn't get I tried to get the flag. I didn't get the flag. Let's get back to the huddle. You know what I'm saying? He didn't make a big show about it. Now he does sometimes, and that bothers me. When I hate the whining, the Luka whining, I can't, and LeBron just, and it's not just them. Let me tell you real quick. I'm a Spurs guy. I've been a Spurs guy since David Robinson, Terry Cummings, Sean Elliott.
Great years, man.
Then Tim Duncan rolls in. Now we got Wemby, although Wemby goes down, so the season's pretty much lost.
They'll be fine.
But I'm a Spurs guy. But man,
see, I'm not growing up too. Like I said, I was a Kobe guy. The only reason I'm a Lakers fan is because I was a Kobe Bryant fan, first and foremost.
And let me get this straight. I don't hate the Lakers because growing up, I'll be honest, I didn't like Michael Jordan. The way people don't like Patrick Mahomes because he wins all the time. I didn't like Michael Jordan. Yeah. I was a Magic Johnson, James Worthy. I was a Lakers guy back then. Kareem.
I hear you.
I saw a little bit of the end of Kareem's career, but I saw quite a bit of Magic, Byron Scott. That was my team, Showtime Lakers. Like I love that.
I hear you.
But
I hear you. Like I said, I was a Kobe guy. So I used to be anti-LeBron. Like when Kobe was still kind of competing for like the face of the league type deal where it was like him and Bron, KD was creeping in there. The Spurs always had a good team, but like Kobe was that dude for me. So until like he retired and like God rest his soul passed, like I started like looking at the game differently because I was like, this is my gripe with Jordan fans. Like y'all have let your glory days neglect you of watching like decent basketball. Like you missed out on Kobe, you missed out on KD, LeBron, like all this complaining about the game. Like I'm not saying you gotta love LeBron, but like the game evolves.
I enjoyed Kobe. I think Shaq was a completely different animal. Like that was it wasn't even the same game he was playing from what I was used to watching.
Dominant.
I can appreciate it. He was he was a beast.
Yeah.
Kobe was just talented, just skilled. But now, like, God, I'm gonna sound so old, but like KD going to every possible team. I'm on Twitter and all I'm seeing is, should the Spurs go after KD? Hell no, bro is old. We don't need that. We don't need that. We got Castle, we got Wemby, we got Fox now. Like, let's build from there. Like, let's build from there. But no, don't go get KD. Like,
it's just the state of the game, the state of the league for real. Like, I get it's probably annoying, but I mean, that's how it's been for a little bit. Like, Kobe was literally the last one who was like, he had a 20-year career with the same team.
Right.
Like, that was loyal to the soil. Like, people ain't doing that now.
I think it's just time that I'm ready for the next group. Like LeBron, KD, Steph. All right, you guys are getting old. Let's bring up the kids now. Let's look at, SGA, let's look at Wemby, let's look at
Luka. Like, you're about to see his whiny face on TV for the next 10, 12 years.
Luka's out of shape. He can't play defense.
Yeah, he's a character. He's dope though. He's a baller.
Yeah, I guess I give you that. Obviously,
the state of the league is fun though for him. I mean, the Knicks are good again. Like, this feels like glory. Like,
I enjoy
Celtics and Lakers are good. Like,
yeah, I enjoy. I want to see the Knicks. I want to see the Knicks win. Because I remember Patrick Ewing and Charles Oakley and John Starks like that when I was a kid, and they were, routinely in the playoffs, getting close to the finals, sometimes in the finals. So I would love to see the Knicks be a team again.
That city and that fan base, they deserve consistent winning, I feel like.
Yeah.
Not to spoil New Yorkers even more, but
yeah, like New York never gets anything.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to a Yankees game?
I haven't.
You haven't?
Out at Yankee Stadium. No, I haven't.
Bro, me and the kids went out to New York. It's probably been 2 years now. And that was our first thing. We went to a Yankees game. We took the train out to the Bronx. I got to see a Judge home run and a Stanton home run in the same game. It was great. The best part about it though, so this was our first day in New York. So I've never been to New York before, right? I've got a buddy that lives there. He's been on my other podcast, Anthony Spino. He's a chef out in New York. His wife is out there. She works with Stephen Colbert. She's producer of that show. So I kind of kept checking in with them. Hey guys, it's my first time. I'm nervous. All I know is movies. People get killed out there. There's rats everywhere. I'm talking to my buddy and I'm like, hey man, is this rat problem like a real thing? And he's like, yeah, I step over 2 or 3 of them on my way to work every day. And I'm like, really? Like, I can't, I don't want to see that, man. I'm going to scream. I'm going to scream and run, throw my hands up. And so I was nervous, but I was checking in with them. Hey, what are things to do? Where should I stay? Where should I go? Blah, blah, blah. We end up staying in Times Square for the first time because it was our first trip. Probably wouldn't do that again. But it was a great time. I realized a week long is way too long to be in New York. Just too long. 3 or 4 days would have been good. We were there for 6 or 7. But we took the train. First day, we took the train out to New York, to the Bronx. And as we get on the train from Times Square, it keeps filling up, as we get close to the Bronx, because it's game day. And it just more and more people, you're getting closed in. And we are one exit away. And this dude on the subway says, we get to the stop at the Bronx, and he says, all y'all crackers better get off now or somebody's going to get stabbed.
No way. Not New York.
No. He said, all y'all crackers better get off now or somebody's getting stabbed. And I just, grabbed my youngest daughter's hand a little tighter and we exit. We don't pay attention to him, don't look. But the funny part comes, like, we're all getting off and that same guy bends down to a little white kid that must have been 7 or 8 years old, maybe even 6 or 7, bends down to him as he's getting off and says, I hope you catch a ball today. Like, he just told us all to get off or we're going to get stabbed. And then he literally, same guy, turns around and tells us little kid, "I hope you catch a ball today."
That's
It was
wild.
insane.
That's a
Crazy.
New York
Crazy
story
characters.
for sure.
So I got up the steps and we're right in front of Yankee Stadium. My first purchase was a Yankees hat. I had to get a Yankees hat because
You're one of us then. That sounds like.
one thing I found out while in New York, like when you're walking the streets, because you walk everywhere, you take the train or whatever, but you're walking, it's you got to know, you got to look like you know what you're doing.
Mhm.
Because even after 4 days, I'm walking the streets, and if there's a tourist in front of me looking up at the buildings or looking, oh, the Empire State, like you're in my way. I'm trying to get from here. I was getting grumpy just
Yeah.
being there. Like the people rub off on you. It's like, I'm trying to get from this side of the street to that side of the street. Would you keep moving? Like you just got to get moving. Like,
Right.
but you put a Yankees hat on, you become one of them. You keep
Mhm.
your head up. Don't look down. Don't look up. Just straight forward. Get from one place to another. But I did have that feeling where, because I was, I was probably 44 when I went to New York for the first time.
Mhm.
And I did have that feeling where it was like, I should have been here a long time ago.
Right.
Like if I had the courage, and circumstances happen, I had a kid when I was 18. So, things happen where that make other things not possible. But there was a moment where it's like, man, this city would have been for me. Like I would have
Right.
loved to just be here,
Yeah. I felt the
It's a great,
same way,
yeah, it
especially
feels like,
growing up, like I said, with hip hop. It was like, that's where you
yeah,
got to make it. That's where it
yeah.
happens.
So they got a hip hop museum in the Bronx, I think now. I think it just opened.
Yeah, I think so.
I think they were just putting the finishing touches on it when we were up there. So it wasn't open to
Yeah.
us. But
Got to get
that
out
sounds
there for
interesting, man.
that and the Yankees game for sure. That's
I'd,
definitely on the list. The
I'd love to
Yankees
go
game.
back because there was a Mets game the next night in Queens or in Flushing, whatever.
Mhm.
And I'm just trying to get to all the stadiums, and there was a
Yeah.
game the next night, but I didn't think it was real fair to my girls to say, hey, let's go to another baseball game. And,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we skipped that, but me and my
And you
son
hit
were
the
like,
best team in New York. I mean, once you hit the Yankees, the Mets are just whatever.
I don't know, man. Garrett Cole's down this year, so we'll see what
we'll
happens.
we'll be all right. We'll be all right.
You know,
Hopefully, we're back at Kaufman to uh, send
I'm
y'all
telling
off
you,
into the off season again.
no, not
I
this year,
would
buddy.
love to see that in my
Not
hometown
this
again.
year. Oh, I'm telling you, Jazz, I'm done with that, dude. Bro, you're a Marlin your whole life. Don't come in here acting like you're Bronx born and raised. Like
Uh,
you're a Marlin.
you put those pinstripes on, man. Your aura
Nah,
is just
he's
different. Like,
trash.
hey, he was good enough to help us get to where we needed to be.
He's trash. But that being said, I really wanted the Royals to get him before he went to the Yankees. I was like, man, that'd be a nice pickup. That'd be a nice pickup.
Yeah, that's the Yankee effect. Y'all hate us when we're in the pinstripes, but you would take any other players we have.
I'm hoping the Royals give a look at Verdugo, man. I'd really like to add him.
I like Doogie. I wish we kept him, honestly. But yeah,
He's still out there. He's still out
yeah,
there looking for somebody. And man,
he's a
I'd love for the
vibes
Royals.
guy, nonetheless, and a solid
Yeah.
ass defender. Like I love Doogie. I wish he was back with us. We'll see.
Royals need some outfield help, but all right, man. I've taken up way too much of your time.
It's great. It's been fun, man. I've enjoyed it.
It was good catching up, man. I want you to let everybody know in Weston that I said what's up. Tell Patrick, bro. So I asked him, I said, I got a question for you, Patrick, and I already know your answer, but would you come on to my podcast, just me and you? Like, or we could do the one with my brothers, whatever. But no, I want Patrick to just be me and him. And I said, would you come on to my podcast? And he texted me back. He's like, what do you mean you know what I'm going to say? What do you mean you know my answer? What do you think I'm going to say? I'm like, well, you're probably going to say no. And he's like, get out of here. Like, I'd love to be on your podcast. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's set something up. And then I don't hear from him.
He'll get to it.
I message him back. I'm like, hey, man, you got time to talk for a little bit? Like, we'll sit down and record it. And he's like, yeah. Like, and then crickets, nothing. I'm like,
he's
and
busy.
I don't want to keep hounding him about it, but I want you to get in his ear and say, look, I did the show. It's pretty dope.
For sure.
Rudy's got the mad questions. So
For sure, yeah. I'll tell him I warmed up the guest spot, but we're
he's
waiting for
got
the
some.
king to come through it and bless the show.
I've got some Q's. I need some of his A's, man.
I hear you. Yeah.
I'm telling you, that guy hired and fired me. And when he called me down to his office, I knew I was going to get fired. And he was so nervous about it and fidgety. I'm like, bro, just get it. I know what just get it over with. I'm gonna be all right. Like, I'm gonna be all right. But it was actually funny to me. I was kind of laughing at it because I'm like, bro, just do it, man. Just one quick, just get it over with. But
he's a solid dude. That's a tough spot for sure, but solid dude. Great.
He
family.
did me a solid
Loved
by
him.
getting me on there, like, because I was, like I said, I was in a company. I was at a company for 20 years, just because my daughter was born, I needed a job. My mom got me hired on at Waddell and Reed. They're now defunct. They used to be on the soccer jerseys, the Ivy Funds. They used to be on the Sporting KC jerseys. But so I worked there for 20 years, and just a no dead end job. And so Patrick's like, "Hey, man, did you ever consider coming out here?" I'm like, "Absolutely, let's go." Yeah. So it was a good 2 years, man. I enjoyed it. He's a good guy, solid guy. Everybody out there is really, really good. Nothing bad to say about anyone out there. So
yeah, absolutely. Second everything you just said.
Well, give them all a holler for me. Give them all a hug for me, man. They were good people. Tell them I said what's up.
For sure.
And man, it was good catching up with you, bro.
Likewise, man. Keep potting, keep creating, keep putting it out. Like we spoke about before this, man. We're kind of in similar spots. Like, I've definitely been doing this for a long time, but like, I'm still excited to create and share whatever I have to offer to the world, and like, hope it ends up where it's supposed to. Like you and I, like where we're supposed to be. Eventually, This could go somewhere else. So we'll see what happens. But just keep doing your thing, and I'm gonna keep doing my thing for sure.
Do the same thing. Real quick before we go, you got some new music dropping, right?
I do.
What do you want to tell us about that? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so it's a little like I'll say it's like the final chapter of the whole Flowers era, I guess. Okay. It's a lot more emotional, still personal, still storytelling, but it's way darker this time. It's not as romantic. It's really, it's about like mental health and kind of, grown man shit and working through that.
Did you have struggles? Did you have struggles with mental health?
Yeah,
personally?
yeah. I was down bad for a little bit. A couple of these songs were like originated in like 2018, 19. Like, I had some not so fun years.
Sure.
And so yeah, just kind of reflecting on that. I've been kind of finalizing some of those songs, and even now, like, listening to it, man, it's hard not to like get drugged back down to some of those like sad points and be like, shit, I'm trying to like work through this, or like,
right. It's bringing up old stuff, right?
It's weird. Just like listening to like a sad song in the car might be like, damn, this just like struck a little bit of emotion. Like, imagine it being your own music and you're like, damn, I felt this way, or like I did this, or this happened. But I'm excited to get it out. This will probably never be music that I like perform, but I think it's important. Like, if I'm going to tell the story, tell it all,
Get it all out there. Yeah. So that's dropping. What do we, it's coming soon, right? Do you have a date?
Yeah, I do. So March 21st is National Flower Day. I know they got a holiday like every other week for some shit, but National Flower Day, March 21st. It's a four song project, a 4-pack. It's gonna be called Morti Flores, which it's Latin for dead flowers. So again, I'm kind of closing the chapter and just ending that era. I hate saying era because it's like a Swiftie thing, but
yeah, you're trying to get on that Taylor Swift train.
I just don't know what else to label it as. So yeah, that season is officially over with after March 21st.
What do you got coming up? What do you think? What's next for you?
I'm creating at a high clip right now. So hopefully I'll release again summertime, maybe end of summer. I want to perform at least once. I want to headline my own gig this year at some point.
Where would you where like what kind of venues are you looking at? Like where would you because I did real quick and I know God, I was gonna end this 10 minutes ago.
We're
But
fine. We're good. We're good.
I saw you had a picture posted. So have you met Tech Nine? I mean, Tech Nine's obviously the Kansas City the
Yeah.
peak, of,
He's the
of
king.
Kansas City
Yeah.
rap artists. Sure. So
Yeah.
you've met him before, but have you talked at all with Travis or have you had any connections with Strange Music?
No, I mean, so I met him when I was like a kid, when he was doing an album called Absolute Power, like at Golden Corral in Liberty. Remember when that was there?
I don't
He,
remember a goal. Oh yeah, no,
it
I
was
think I
where
remember
there's
that
like a
one.
Chinese buffet in there now. It's kind of by that
Yeah.
Walmart. But he had like his
Okay.
van wrapped outside in the album art. And some of my dad's friends like were hip to him and we're like, we gotta wait till he's done eating. So I met him as like a child, and then I met him again
Oh,
at
okay.
Crown Center in high school, and I was ass at rapping then. And so like we didn't talk about raps. I didn't like share anything with him.
Right.
But I've kind of like I've been hoping to cross paths with him again. I've recorded at Strangeland on Lee
Have
Summit
you?
Book
Okay.
Studio. That's actually where I recorded Berry Road. So
Nice.
yeah.
Well, they had to have heard it then at some point, like, right? Wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
I mean they like give you a staff engineer who works with Strange Music or whatever, but I feel like
Okay.
they probably have so many acts in and out of there. He's probably like another day in the office.
Right. Sure.
Uh, but like I said, God willing, maybe our paths will cross. I feel like that would be dope. I would love
That would be
that.
cool. I ran
Yeah.
into Tech Nine years and years and years ago. I used to work at Sam Goody. It was a record store or a CD store, a music store at Independence Center.
Uh,
And he used to come in all the time. He'd buy all the rap magazines, Double XL, or he'd buy the Source and all that stuff. And he'd always turn to the where they give him how many mics did he get? I think he had just released one of his. I don't know if it was Absolute Power or if it was Killer. I don't know. One of his albums he released, and he came in. He was looking for how many mics did he get in the Source or whatever.
the
He
Source,
was
yeah, yeah.
always every week he'd come in and buy all the magazines. And there was one day where a kid was buying his album. Like I was literally ringing the kid up. He was buying a Tech Nine album, and Tech Nine was literally standing there, like adjacent to the register, like at our magazine rack. And I'm
Mhm.
looking at the kid, and I'm kind of giving him eyes, like And the mom's like, what are you doing? I'm like, that's Tech Nine. I'm like, do you want to say something to him? And the kid was kind of scared. And like I said, Tech Nine used to come into the store all the time. I'm like, hey, Mr. Nine. I didn't call him Mr. Nine. I called him Tech, but I'm like, hey, Tech, this kid's buying this. What do you think of this album? And he went from there and took it from there and popped it open,
Yeah.
signed it for him. He was a really, really cool guy. So.
Bro, I love Tech. I'll forever respect him. He's a legend. He's like done epic things. Like I'll respect him always. I love that dude. Incredible. Like I said, God willing, hopefully our paths cross again. Now that I'm not so ass at rapping.
So do you have a venue in mind? Are you is there places that you would perform that? Where have you performed before other than the Granada?
I've done mini bar. I've done like opening gigs at the Rhino in North Kansas City.
Bro, I went to the Rhino. They do stand-up comedy there.
They do.
And my girlfriend's been trying to she's like, you're going up there. You're going up there to do some. I still got to get the.
If you ever do it, tell me. I'll come through and check
the
you
Rhino,
out.
Because next door to the Rhino, they have what's the place called? It's called something. My girlfriend's vegan, and they have vegan ice cream next door, and that's her favorite place. It's called something Emotion. God, I'm screwing it up. I'd love to give them a shout out, but she goes there all the time to get ice cream. But I'll go there with her, and I'll get a beer there at the bar. But they'll have concerts there next door at the Rhino, and so yeah, I absolutely know where that's at, and I've been there quite a few times. So
I've frequented their open mics. I just think it's a dope space. I literally live like 2 minutes away from it. I would love to headline there and like really do this thing properly and like celebrate all the music I've released. But mini bar I did like 2 years ago. It's about a similar size as the Rhino. It's off Broadway, kind of by Westport. I love getting on stage, but I'm just in like work mode right now. Like I want to make dope music, and then like I'll get to the performing aspect. So
absolutely. Well, my last question then is, how do I get a featuring on one of your albums or one of your songs? You got to give me a couple bars. I mean,
shoot. That's a tough question. I'll see if I can fit you in on
Oh, let me
You never know.
see. Bad connection.
something. Nah. I'm tuned in too, so if I hear something on the pod, maybe I'll clip it up too. If you got some
Man.
bars on here,
Oh,
some
oh.
inspirational,
Throw a
use it as
little
like an
beatbox.
interlude. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna start beatboxing for you. It'll be dope. It'll be dope.
We'll make it work, God willing. We'll see how that works.
Christian, thanks for your time, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, man. I
This has
appreciate
been
you.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I'm glad we
agree.
got to catch up. It's been a long time. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, man.
Again, thank you for sharing your platform. Keep podding, keep being creative, keep doing your thing, man. I appreciate you.
You do the same, buddy. Keep releasing this dope music, and man,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
here listening. So let me know when you find a stage, and I'll be there, man.
Yes, sir. March 21st, new 4-pack coming. Be on the lookout. Hopefully,
Shout
we'll
out.
talk to you again soon. We'll have to do this again sometime.
Absolutely. Maybe after it releases, So, or in summertime when you got something new. Absolutely, bud. Anytime.
Yeah. I think you'll like the summer stuff. I'm already cooking, so let's talk then
Ooh.
for sure.
Let him cook. All right, man. Bro, thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon. Everybody out there, thanks for watching, listening. If you're on Spotify, and man, it's a good time.
Yes, sir. God bless you, brother. Thank you.
Thanks, bud.